Welcome back to the No BS Boundary Bootcamp. So, yesterday we learned that throughout our lives, our mind took in data from every person, every bit of body language, every hidden meaning, every scrap of media, and it formed programs that we follow in order to stay safe and in order to feel included and accepted. And maybe if we are good enough, it will allow us to be loved. That's what our mind thinks, anyway. And we learned yesterday that we are constantly trying to live up to these programs and that our mind screams mind BS at us, trying to keep us running our program. So it's always telling us that we need to do more and be better. And it makes us feel like we are never enough. And that is exhausting. And so often, it's not just as simple as running programs because our programs conflict. Like if your kid is sick, do you follow the good parent program and stay home with them? Or the good worker program and like load them up with Advil and send them off to daycare? What do you do? It is so hard to make that decision. And so often, what do? We end up doing both. Have you ever tried to do both? Like take care of a sick kid and work at the same time? Like it's no wonder that we are exhausted. We're feeling stressed and overwhelmed and anxious and out of balance and unfulfilled because we are running on a treadmill trying to keep up with all of these programs that our mind wants us to run. And that sucks. So, as of today, we're done with all of that. Okay? And yesterday we learned some great news. Anybody remember what it was? We learned that the solution to all of these problems, burnout, exhaustion, anxiety, people pleasing, the solution is all of the same. Do you remember what it is? Put it in the chat if you do. I'm going to give you the answer though. The solution is to get back to our true selves. Shed all of that programming and remember who we are at our core so that we can feel in alignment with ourselves and at peace in our lives. And it also means that we are no longer going to have this internal war inside of us that's making it hard to make decisions, and it's killing our confidence because we're pulled in so many directions and it's sucking up our energy before we even start on our to-do list. And so yesterday we gave ourselves a powerful name. Do you remember it? Now we're going to claim that power. So let's change our name on Zoom to our power name. So if you are on a desktop right now, you can click on your face right there and rename yourself. And if you're on mobile, you have to go to participants and then your name should be at the top. So I'm going to change my name right now to Queena Christina Suprema. That is my power name. Woohoo! We have got lots of queens going on here. This is fantastic. Okay, there we go. So now that we are taking our true self persona onto ourselves, we're going to reflect a little bit on our past. Why have our boundary efforts failed? What keeps us in that yo-yo pattern of like putting our foot down and then like shrinking back into our cave? You remember? We talked about it yesterday. It is our mind BS. Yeah, it's our villain. The mind BS is our villain, and it's what's keeping us stuck, but not anymore. Today, we are taking brave action towards our true selves. Today, we are claiming our power and taking back our power to choose. We have the power to choose how we show up, how we respond, and how we spend our energy. Okay, are we ready? Got your workbook? I'm going to go put the link in the chat. Okay, there we go. You can get your workbook on your dashboard and any of the emails that I sent you. All right, let's start with a simple but not so simple question. What are boundaries? What are they? Can you define it? Because every single person that I've ever met gives a different definition. So write it out in your workbook, what you think boundaries are, and put in the chat your simplest definition of what boundaries could be. So while you're doing that, I want to share that I have done a lot of training on boundaries, right? And so many of them, like almost universally, had us picturing boundaries as like a bubble around us, like a protective space between myself and others. And then they talk about like your bubble having holes in it, which makes it porous and therefore ineffective. So boundaries are about plugging the holes. Okay, that makes sense. The only analogy I can think of there is that I had a video game at a friend's house, and they had like that body scanner thing. I'm sure it's got a name, but I'm not great with video games. And so the game was this water flowing out of holes, and we had to like plug them with our hands and feet. And let me tell you, that was a workout. That was a lot of energy spent plugging holes. So that bubble boundary, it was kind of like that in my head. Like I wanted to feel good. I wanted to have healthy boundaries. And so I worked really hard to plug the holes. And so this is kind of like what it looked like in real life. Like, ping, oh, a text is coming in. And then I would read it and be like, what the? How dare she talk to me like that? What a jerk. I'm going to write back and tell her that I will not be disrespected like that because I'm plugging holes, right? No, but plugging that hole, not going to be disrespected. But then what happens? Well, she writes back, and she writes back telling me to be not so sensitive. And my body goes, and I'm like, I'm not being sensitive. I'm valuing myself. I'm putting my foot down. I'm being reasonable. You're the one who's being unreasonable. And all of this energy is going out. So I'm like, okay, I need to plug the holes again. What does that mean? Does that mean I should not respond? Is that how I plug the holes? Does it mean that I should like apologize and diffuse the situation? Should I like keep telling her no, like her behavior is unacceptable and put that hand up? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm in this place of indecision. And that leaves me in a place where I'm just like reading the text again and being angry. And that is a lot of energy to try to put this bubble around me, a lot of freaking out about what to do next, and a lot of feeling like anger and frustration taking over my body, but having no place to go because I don't know what to do. If I decide not to respond because I'm not going to engage in the drama, then I'm still ruminating about it and sinking into like this feeling of resentment and how dare she and why does everybody treat me like that? All of those feelings that come up in a moment over and over again, like especially in the bad moments, like at night when you're trying to be sleeping. And if I decide to respond to reinforce the boundary that I'm not going to be disrespected, it's probably going to lead to more emotions, probably more nasty exchange between us, more frustration and desperation and unhappiness. Either way, it's always there, taking up energy and space in my life. And I felt like this superhero who could like generate a force field, like, but then it depletes her. And when she's done making the force field, sure, it protected everything, but then she collapses and she's weak and exhausted and not able to generate a force field anymore. And that's what I felt like. That's part of the reason I was on that yo-yo. I felt like I had to either like put up a wall between me and the world or just be like a doormat, like a solid bubble or no bubble at all. And so setting boundaries felt exhausting and never ending. And it was like just more work for my overworked body. You ever felt like that? So that's why so many of us give up on our boundary efforts, but we need a different way. We need a way that is actually going to work for busy parents. And so, my friends, let's just pause for a second and take a moment to reflect and write out in your workbook, there's a space for this. Why? Why are you wanting to set boundaries? Why are you here today? What are you hoping that boundaries are going to do for you? What improvements do you want in your life? Share your answers in the chat when you get them, because this is key. So I was making an effort to set boundaries. If I think about it, it was because I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to have balance. I wanted to be low drama. I just wanted to be able to flow through life without agonizing over decisions or what to do in any situations. I didn't want to be spending my energy plugging holes. All right, so what if we envision us flowing along the river of our life and we envision boundaries as like these side barriers, like blocking sewage from entering our river and directing our flow to what will make us the happiest? And I like that because water flows over and around whatever gets in the way and it just continues on. Like, is there a way that we can be water? That we can use boundaries to help us flow over and around all of the things that get in our way? So that means if we're water, we are each this beautiful flowing stream. So if we think about it, what's directing our flow right now? Yeah, our villain, our programs, and our mind BS. That's what's deciding our life for us. Our programs to tell us to like go all over the place, like go this way and put your energy into your career, make more money, climb the ladder, gain more status, and impress your coworkers. And to keep us motivated, our mind BS is going to be constantly telling us how much we suck if we're not perfect at all of that. Okay. But at the same time, our programs tell us to go over here too. Put your energy into being a good parent. Make sure the kids are well stimulated and getting good grades and eating all the right foods and making sure that they have leisure time, but not too much leisure time and stimulation, but not too much stimulation. Ugh. Make sure they have this perfect childhood so that they can have a happy life. Because how can they possibly have a happy life if they don't have a perfect childhood? And our mind BS tells us constantly that we're failing at all that. Okay, so we got our flow over here, we're flowing over here, but our programs are not done. No way. We also need to like flow over all over the place to put our energy into being a good spouse and keeping our house spotless and making sure that our parents are okay and cared for and that our yard looks nice and that we help our friends and family with all of their needs. And our mind BS makes us feel shame if we can't keep up. So I'm not going to start another rant here, but you can see how we end up being spread too thin. Okay. So now, did you notice that I started talking about energy? Because what we flow to is what we put our attention to, which is where we direct our energy. So putting up these boundaries and directing our flow is deciding where to put our energy. And that's it. That is my definition of boundaries. So make sure to put that in your workbook. My definition of boundaries is deciding in any tiny moment where to put your energy. So that doesn't sound so hard, right? But it is damn near impossible when we are fighting our villain, our mean old mind BS, trying to like beat us into submission, which means continue running our old programs. So we need a champion. We need someone who is going to stand up for our true self, for all of those parts of us that we have had to hide, and the parts of us that haven't had a voice, that has been silenced and shoved away for way too long. Because that's the real us, that's the real you. It's you who you are at your core. And so when people talk about finding themselves, this is what they're talking about. They are talking about shedding all of that old programming that gets in the way of us expressing who we really are and getting back to that true self. And I have a clear step-by-step path for you to follow to do just that. And boundaries are a huge part of it. So let me introduce you to your new best friend, a powerful ally and fearless fighter, Captain Could. So Captain Cood's specialty is fighting our mind BS and all of those shameful shoulds it's hurling at us. Like, you should be a better mom. You should be working right now instead of watching this video. You should be doing better. And normally these shoulds would like slap us right in the feels, like bam, pow, killing our self-esteem and making us shrink away. But if we're shrinking, we are not standing in our power. And so we cannot set boundaries from that place. We can't stand up for ourselves when we're not believing in our own worth. So we are not shrinking today, my friends, because in comes Captain Could to help us take back our power. Every should that our mind BS throws at us gets turned into a could. We need like a sound for that transformation. I'm going to go with pow. All right. So no more shoulds, only empowered choices. So let's start with an example. We're going to start with just yourself, boundaries with just yourself. So in this example, a job posting comes in for a promotion to your position. How exciting. This is the next logical step for you. And you think to yourself, oh man, I should apply to that. But then you find yourself putting it off and you're stressing about it because like the deadline's coming up and you need to make a decision. And so boundaries are all about making decisions that will move you closer to your dream life, not somebody else's dream life, not your programmed dream life. Ooh. So you have a trip this weekend and the guilt is engulfing you that you won't take your computer or your kids. Yes, we're going to do that today after this example. Let's do your example. Woohoo. So boundaries are all about making decisions that will move you closer to your dream life. And so your mind BS is telling you that the promotion is what's going to lead to your dream life. More money, more status, all that aligns beautifully with what you've been programmed to believe will make you happier, right? More money makes life better, right? But somewhere inside you, there's a piece of you that's resisting it. That's your true self trying to have a voice. You are feeling the dissonance, that conflict that is caused by the gap between your programmed self and your true self. So what do? You call in Captain Could. And so we are going to take back our power to choose by changing the shoulds to coulds. So I should apply for the promotion becomes I could apply for the promotion. You could. You could choose to put your energy into applying for that job and all of the extra responsibilities that come with it. That is one of your choices. But we have other choices. What are they? We could choose to put our energy into our current job and do a really great job at that. We can choose to put our energy into our family instead of the more demanding job. We could choose to put that energy into self-care activities. Like the list of places that you could direct that bit of energy, that flow of your river is endless. And it's interesting how so often we think it's just two choices, to apply or not to apply, to respond or not to respond. But Captain Could knows better. And now we get to choose. We get to choose how we show up, where we direct our energy, and how we are going to take our power to move us forward and towards that dream definition of who we are and our true self. So think about all of the choices and think about which one feels better. If you don't have that feeling and you don't know right away which one is the right choice, you can imagine yourself walking down each path. Like, okay, if I choose the job, it's going to look like this. I'm going to be doing this on a daily basis. Ooh, how does that feel? And if I don't choose the job, what am I going to be doing? And how is that going to feel? And for some people, what feels good is going to be the promotion. And for others, it might be having more energy and time for the family. The point is that you get to choose. But wait, there's more. Captain Could is only one guy. He's going to help you change those shoulds to coulds, but then he's going to hop on top of the one that you choose. And he can only be on one choice. So why am I harping on this? Because your mind BS is a sneaky villain and it has one more game to play with you. It's going to try to make you doubt your choice. It's going to try to make you agonize over all of those other chosen options. It's going to try to spread your stream out again and trick you into putting your energy back into your old programs. It looks like this. So you decide not to apply. You decide to put your energy into leaving on time and spending the energy with your kids, spending like your evening and all of that time with your kids. And you pat yourself on the back. Good job, me. But no, your mind BS creeps back in and makes you wonder, was that a stupid decision? I mean, it's the next logical step in my career. Am I going to disappoint people? I don't want people to think I'm unmotivated. What will my partner think when they learn that I chose not to bring in more money to our household? Blah, 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 BS. And so that is why we are setting no BS boundaries, my friend. No BS. All right. So, Deborah, let's do your example. So you have a trip this weekend and the guilt is engulfing you that you're not taking your computer or your kids. Why are you not taking your computer or your kids? Did you make that decision?
Yes, I did.
Why did you make that decision?
Um, because it's a girls' trip,
Okay.
and
So,
so no kids are allowed. We're not allowed to take our kids.
so you have made a decision for yourself to spend some time on this girls' trip, nurture yourself, and take the trip, right? You made that decision.
Correct?
Yes. But now your mind BS is coming in and making you doubt your decision. Oh no, am I a bad parent because I'm not taking my kids? And what about, you're taking your computer for work? I'm like, am I a good worker because I'm not taking my computer? Oh no, I should be doing all of these other things, right?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. So let's practice putting Captain Could on your chosen decision. And you have already made your choice. You have chosen to go on this wonderful girls' weekend. So, how can you put your energy into that and not let all of those other ones? This is actually tomorrow's thing because this is a little bit advanced, and not let all of those other things stress you out. What is good about going on a girls' weekend? How will that help you be a better parent?
I get to relax, refresh, rejuvenate that I have not done for quite some time.
Yes, exactly. So, what will that allow you to do if you rest and refresh and rejuvenate?
I'll be able to come back with more energy, hopefully have more energy to clear out some of my thoughts and boundaries, setting better boundaries.
Yes. So, it's almost like taking this time for yourself for this girls' weekend and not bringing your kids makes you actually a better mom.
Mhm.
Can you sink into that?
Yes, yes, yes. I see the direction. I see where you're going because in order to be better, you need to take care of yourself first. So I'm actually filling my cup with
Yeah,
all the positive things though. Filling my cup so that I won't overflow with all the other activities that are happening around.
that's right. And what do you want your kids to do when they're all grown up? Do you want them to do things that fill their cup?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
I
what
want
a
them to be
beautiful.
able to enjoy and I want them to be able to travel. I want them to have me time, alone time.
So, what a beautiful example you are setting for them. Wow. So, by taking
Thank you for emphasizing that. I did not see it that way.
Yeah, by taking that guilt off of yourself and modeling for them how to do that, you are allowing them to have a little bit of a different experience growing up where they will not feel as much guilt. The guilt won't be so heavy when they start doing things that fill their own cup because they've seen mom do it and it's normal. It's healthy. I saw mom come back rejuvenated and happy, and I just loved spending time with mom after she filled her cup.
Yes, so true.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much for interacting with me and doing your example here. All right.
Thank you too.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So we're at this place where Captain Could has done his job. You've made that aligned choice, the choice that feels good to you. And now it's time for your true happiness hero to swoop in and keep that mind BS from draining your energy by spreading all of your attention to those other choices. That's what we were just talking about because you can see how your energy got spread to like, oh, maybe I should take my computer. That was a choice. Maybe I should do this. That was a choice. Nope. Now we're bringing in, ready? Your happiness hero. And it's you. It's you, my friend. Okay. So You are your own happiness hero. You can see I am Queena Christina Suprema today, my own happiness hero. And I know that you are very, very good at being a happiness hero because I know that you've been that hero for so many people. And so now you're turning those amazing skills towards your own happiness. So all weekend that you are with your girlfriends, Deborah, you're going to say, back off BS, back off mind BS. I've made my choice and it's bringing me closer to my true self. So like, be gone with you, you know? And you were so good at that. Because if it was one of your kids, you would push away their mind BS like a freaking pro. And all you're doing is turning that back on yourself. So imagine your kid comes in and says something like, I'm so dumb, or no one likes me. Like, oh, breaks your heart, right? So what do, my happiness hero? You know it. You battle that BS. You are a happiness hero. And now you're defending your own right to happiness too. Okay. So to recap, here is your recipe to move, use your coulds to shoulds to move from your program self to your true self. Number one, change your shoulds to coulds. Okay, list them out. List all your choices. There's more than just do it or don't do it. Okay, make a choice. And then number three, let go of the rest. Don't fall for the BS. And so, Deborah, in your make a choice, there's more than just do it and don't do it. There's more than just take my kids or don't take my kids. There's also, hey, I could call my kids before bed every night. You know, there's all sorts of different choices that you have in there. Or I could choose to disconnect completely and trust my partner to take care of them. It's completely up to you. So I used to get people to write out their boundaries. Like they would say, like, I will not respond to work things outside of work hours, right? And they would write it out. And that felt super empowering. But then life happens. And sometimes these power statements start feeling like another should, you know, and we start feeling this indecision and leaking energy all over again. Like, at my work, we've now switched to cell phones instead of desk phones, and we all work from home a few days a week. So we're bringing everything back and forth. And so we always seem to have our phone with us. And so now we're getting pings all night long, right? So imagine you're in this scenario where ping, a message comes in, and you're like, no, I'm not going to look at it. Okay. But then it continues to be in the back of your mind. And the two parts of you are at war. Like, oh, look at it. No, I'm not looking at it. Look at, no, I'm not looking at it. What does that mean? Energy leak, right? We're flowing in two different directions. So here we are back at our coulds and shoulds anyway, even though we've set this boundary. So I should check this message, which could be your should, or you could have the opposite should. I should not check this message because you set this boundary. Either way, it's a should, and it feels the same. And we don't want any shoulds. We want to feel empowered. We want an empowered choice. So anytime those shoulds come along, we're going to change them to coulds. I could check the message. I could turn off my phone, or somewhere in the middle, I could check the message and decide if it's important. You have unlimited coulds. But here's the key. You get to pick the one that feels good to you in that moment, because you are different in each moment. One night you might be like, nope, and just turn it off. And another night, it might actually feel good to check it. And doing what feels good is never a fail. So I don't want to get people to write out their boundaries anymore, because I want you to flow like water to whatever feels good to you in the moment. And when you pick just one, that's the secret, and put all of your energy into like celebrating yourself, sort of like we did just now, Deborah, celebrating yourself for picking just one and being proud of how you are moving step by step over to your true self. And you eliminate that battle within you, and you conserve your very precious energy. And that means you're listening, like finally listening to your true self and deciding what matters most to you in the life that you actually want to live. and you're taking aligned action, which means directing your river to where you want it to go. And with every tiny action, every choice to put your energy into what feels good to you, you're closing the gap and getting closer and closer to your true self. All right, let's try one together. Okay. You're thinking, I am so tired, but I should keep working or clean something or whatever you think you should be doing instead of resting. Can you come up with any coulds? Put them in the chat. So it's like I could keep working or. So I could keep working or I could take a nap or I could go outside and take a breath of fresh air, or I could take the dog around the block, or I could do a moment to do some breathing exercises, or I'm at home, I work from home a lot, so I could, decide what to have for dinner. You have the power to choose, okay? So this is a good point to mention that our choice does not have to be forever. It could be 5 minutes. We could choose to take a walk around the block and then reassess. You have the power, my friend. I could keep working or watch a movie. Yeah, that's a great one. You absolutely could. And so you get to decide, am I going to do a 30-second breathing exercise? Am I going to take a 3-hour nap? Am I going to stop working for the day? The power is up to you. All right. So setting boundaries does not have to be that hard. All right, we are going to do a quick visioning exercise. So humor me. It's not going to be too painful, I promise, okay? So close your eyes, take a deep breath. All right. Now imagine that it's after dinner and you have lots of shoulds popping up. There's always something to do. You should clean the kitchen or you should fold the laundry. Notice all of the shoulds popping up for you. What should you be doing after dinner? Okay, so now you're noticing them, you're looking at them, but you're thinking, that's okay. I'm going to choose not to feel anxiety about all of that. Instead, I'm going to make a choice that feels good. So you're going to choose where you'd like your energy to flow for the next 10 minutes. So think about that now. It's after dinner, you've got lots of shoulds, but what are your options? What could you actually do for the next 10 minutes? Think about that. All right. Now, is there an option that you've come up with that feels good? Like one that you think, oh, I wish I could just let myself do that. So think about what it would feel like to do that one that you really want to do. Sink into it for a minute. Think about how good it feels to do what you want to do for a change. Just for these 10 minutes, you are soaking in the glory of your chosen activity. And so now your 10 minutes are up and it's time to go on to the next thing. But how are you feeling as you move forward in your evening? How do your interactions with your family go? Now, as you imagine yourself interacting with your family, imagine giving one of them this great big hug and feeling so much love passing between the two of you. You're feeling so grateful that you've had that space, that 10 minutes to fill your cup, and you feel calm and happy and present. So think about what it would mean for your family And for you, if you felt like that more often, what would it mean for your connection with your kids and how you're showing up for them? What would it mean for their development to see you happy and balanced and grounded and see the way that you achieve that? Learn how to do that for themselves. And what would it mean for you and your happiness and your life satisfaction for you to feel that way? To finally feel fulfilled and light and flowing. So hold on to that feeling for another couple seconds. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So this is life-changing stuff. Life-changing for you, but also for everyone around you, for your entire family. As I was going through my own journey, I was frustrated that there wasn't a step-by-step path that would help me to ditch these habits that caused me to burn out, because I didn't know how to get rid of them and then start living more authentically and more in alignment with who I really was. And so there's a lot of individual things like therapy and meditation and journaling and yoga, and like all of those things are great. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not a path. And I wanted a fast way to feel better. I didn't want to just keep inching in all these different directions. I wanted a clear way to get from feeling overwhelmed and burnt out to feeling a sense of inner peace and happiness, even though I had a very busy life and that was not going to change. And I wanted a path that didn't require me to like leave all of my responsibilities and go away for 6 months as I figured out who I was under all of that programming and how I could build myself a life that actually felt good. Because that's what I was trying to do in creating this family and having this job. I wanted a life that felt fulfilling, but instead I was just like rushing everywhere all the time and feeling exhausted. Oh, I needed to have like a grip and some control over my day. So, can you believe that you can do all of this in only 5 steps? Yes, you can. Let me show you. Okay. Here is the path to your best life. Step 1, uncover your old programming that has been driving your behavior and decide which programs you want to keep and which ones are no longer serving you. Okay. We did a little bit of that yesterday. Step 2, figure out your destination. What truly matters to you? What values do you want to live by? What would it look like for you to be living your best life? That's your true self talking. And so now we have this starting point and this dream destination. And now you can build a bridge between these 2 points. And step 3 is to learn how to connect with yourself so that you can tap into your inner wisdom. It's like building like a rope between these 2 points and connecting them together. And then once you have figured out how to connect with yourself, connecting your program self to your true self, because this is where you are and this is where you want to be, you are ready to cross that bridge. And you do that by building no BS boundaries in step 4. This is where we learn to make tiny decisions guided by your inner wisdom that you now know how to tap into. And those are going to leap you forward towards your dream life. Every decision you make is going to move you closer. And in the last step, step 5, is to get settled, because your mind absolutely loves to slide back into old habits. Keep running those old programs. Okay. And we don't want that. So we have a full step on just learning how to stay in that dream life as your true self. And so the best part is that once you learn these steps, you become a bridge builder. And so as you grow, there's going to be a time where you can imagine a newer and truer version of your life. You can imagine that new destination, and you now have the tools to build yourself a bridge directly there over and over again for the rest of your life. And as you evolve, as you grow, you will continue to live out the truest version of your life and model for your kids how to do that for themselves. So there was no path. There was no process when I had burnt out. So I made one, and I call it the bridge to your best life. And I'm a course designer in my day job. And it's my job and my superpower that I've discovered to take like a vast amount of information and turn it into simple, tangible, actionable steps. And so we all have different programs, but the process to uncover them is the same. And we all have different values, but the process to lean into them and listen to them is the same. And we all have different boundaries, but the process to set them is the same. And so this program is actually designed for busy parents who do not have the time in their schedule for anything else. It's for people who struggle to like ever tend to their own needs, ever say no to other people's needs. And it's for people who want desperately to live a happy life and to model that for their kids, but they don't even know what lights them up anymore. And so this program is designed to fit into your chaotic, busy life and get you the transformational results like Jackie got that I talked about yesterday in an amazingly short period of time. So if you're ready to change your life and to be the happy parent that you wanted to be and show up as your truest self for your kids so that you can grow that authentic relationship with them as they grow and in turn show them how to live that life that you dream for them, that you want for them with the habits that are going to have them building a happy life for themselves. I encourage you to check out the Bridge to Your Best Life program. You can learn more at mindbs.ca/best life. I will put that in the chat. Okay. But, important thing, do not buy from that website. Okay. Do not buy from the one I just put in the chat because I have a special price just for you, just for the people who have attended this boot camp. All right. Before I reveal that though, I want to know how much would you expect to pay for a 6-month program? You actually get 9 months to do it because I know you're busy, but it's a 6-month program. So 6 months of therapy, I pay $2,400. For 9 months, it would be $3,600. Most coaches charge around $2,000 to $3,000 for a 3-month program. Okay. And you're all super lucky because right now I am in the process of transitioning to a newer and better course hosting platform that I'm very excited about. You're going to love it. But I know that there's going to be some glitches as we make that transition. And it's kind of like just plain right now. I don't have all of the, cool graphics and bells and whistles. So I'm offering the program at an insane discount, lowest that it's ever been, actually. And I'm offering an even lower price to the people who attend this bootcamp because very soon my new platform is going to be very sexy with all of the bells and whistles. And you can even, if you join now, help shape that if you want to, if that's something that you like, and get the things that you specifically want that are going to help you move forward in your journey. And the price is going to be back up to the regular price. And so the regular price is $444 per month for 6 months. And the discounted price, as I transition to the new platform, is way discounted at only $297 a month for 6 months. That's the price you're going to find on the website. And that's going to be there until the end of June. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, that's fine. Because by the end of June, I expect it to be all ready to go and all perfect and everything working well. So $297 a month is way less than I would pay for therapy every month if I'm doing 2 sessions a month. So, but for you who have attended this bootcamp, I know that you're committed already to changing your life because you are here right now listening to me talk. And so you are getting half price, $222 per month, about this price of one therapy session per month for 6 months. So don't buy from the website. The link to the special price, the $222 per month, is coming in emails only so that it only goes to the people who have registered here. And as an added bonus, I am going to be offering one lucky person a full scholarship. Yeah, the whole program completely free. Okay? To one person only. And here's how you enter. All you have to do is book a call with me before the end of the day next Thursday. That's all you have to do. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat, the link to book a call with me. and you can find it on your dashboard. So if you go to your dashboard where you find the replays, you can see a book a call. It's a heart-to-heart call. It's not a sales call. We're just going to have a chat about where you are in your life and how to move you forward. Okay, so if you want that scholarship, be sure to book a call with me before the end of the day, Thursday, April 25th, because we are going to be doing the draw on Friday, April 26th for the scholarship for all of the people who have booked the call. And I cannot wait to have a chat with you. All right. So to recap, today we learned how to take back our power by calling in Captain Could and then making an empowered choice that feels good to you. Today you stood in your power as a happiness hero, because you've been a happiness hero for a long time to all of the people around you, fighting for their rights and their happiness. And now you are turning those superpowers on yourself, battling your mind BS and allowing yourself to make the choice that feels good to you. So tomorrow we are going to build on that, and I am going to share my full no BS boundary framework for when things aren't so simple. Right? Our sidekick Captain Could does a really great job in simple situations, but life can get freaking complicated. And so simple doesn't always cut it. So tomorrow we get to discover boundaries with benefits. That means boundaries that actually move us closer to our true self. Two things at once. And so, yeah, I am giving away my exact framework that you would learn in step 4 of that 5-step process. So you can start getting moving right away. Okay. You do not want to miss it. So your homework tonight is to just try this out. Change a should to a could. See if you can take back your power to choose, even in your chaotic life. Like if you've got 5 minutes between, dinner being ready and whatever you're doing, see if you can find what the coulds are in that situation, right? I should, wash the dishes while I'm doing dinner. Maybe you could do that. Maybe it'll feel good for later, but you also have other choices. See what they are. So your homework is to share in the group the situation where your should that came up and the options that you came up with, all of the coulds, and then the one that you chose. So great job, happiness heroes. We are done for the day, but I'm going to stay on in case there are any questions or if you want to work through a personal situation.